Dear friends, there is a little funny story about a couple going to Florida for their Easter vacation. The husband was driving the car without his seat belt on when he suddenly spotted a patrol car just right behind him. So immediately grabbed the seat belt and tried to put it on. But it was too late then, and the red lights began to flash. The officer came to him and said, "You weren't wearing the seat belt." The man said, "Yes, I was. If you don't believe me, just ask my wife." So the officer turned to her and said, "What do you say, ma'am?" Very innocently, his wife said, "Officer, I have been married to this man for 30 years, and there is one thing I have learned in my life. Never argue with him when he is drunk." So just give him the ticket. Some years ago, an inmate in Chicago prison was watching a TV show. The popular show's guest was Gordon Libby. Some of you might remember that name. He was one of the persons convicted in the Watergate scandal that forced Richard Nixon to resign the presidency in 1974. The topic of that TV show was religion. And so at one point during the show, the host turned to Gordon and said, "How can you be so certain that God created you?" Gordon smiled and replied, "No one else but God would have dared to do it, to create someone like me." The audience was taken aback, but at the same time, they laughed along with the host. When the show ended, the Chicago inmate lay down on his bed and he began to ask himself, "Why did God create me? Why did God create someone like me who would end up behind bars? Why did God create someone who would die to goodness and love and be buried in a prison cell?" It was then a surprising thought came to his mind. The greatest event in the human history began in a tomb. The reason why it is the greatest event for humanity is because of the transformation it brought about in Jesus, because he is no longer buried in the tomb. He has risen from the tomb. And because Jesus was raised to new life, the world was also raised to new life and a new beginning. What happened to Jesus in Jerusalem could very well happen to this prisoner in Chicago. Because of Jesus' new power and life, he too could be reborn and rise from his prison cell. When the risen Lord appeared to the apostles, suddenly they were transformed from a band of frightened men into a group of daring missionaries. And at the command of Jesus, they set out to preach the good news of Easter wherever they went. And everywhere they preached the good news, the power of the risen Lord began to work, and beautiful things began to happen in people's lives. Despair gave way to hope. Hatred began to give way to love, and sorrow gave way to joy. And those miracles have not stopped yet. They still continue to happen in our times too. Indeed, the Lord wants to recreate us. Maybe some of us find ourselves buried in some kind of tombs. just as the prisoner was. It may be the tomb of resentment or anger because of some hurt feelings from our past. It may be the fear about our future and what it holds for us. It may be a tomb of confusion about our faith and how we must deal with it. And that is where the power of Easter comes in. For just as the risen Lord used his power to change his life and what he did for the disciples, he wants to do for us as well. The point that Jesus is making today is that we have been given the gift of faith, and we must not keep that one locked in our hearts. Rather, it should be shared with our family, with our children. It should be shared with our friends who once believed in Jesus and now may have become inactive in their faith life. It is to be shared with those who are still searching for God or for meaning in their life. Just as when the apostles went out, dared to preach the good news to people everywhere they went. Only then we too can become a spark of Easter light in a world that is filled with many evil forces. Therefore, dear friends, today's Easter celebration invites us to open our hearts to the power of the risen Lord to help us love again after we had our love rejected by someone. It invites us to trust again others after we have had our trust betrayed by another person. It invites us to hope again and start all over again, because nothing can defeat us anymore. Not discouragement, not sorrow, not pain, not even death itself. One of the French theologian and philosopher, Teilhard de Chardin, in this context, speaks about love. He said, "Love is the only force that can make things one without destroying them." Let me say that again. Love is the only force that can make things one without destroying them. And that's what Jesus has done for us through his death and resurrection.